Hey, gang, good morning. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're having a great week. So, the Soto to the Yankees chatter started leaking out yesterday. I reported some of it, and I have a little more for you because it started filtering out a little bit more last night. And I wanted to share this with you folks to make sure that you knew everything that was going on. Now, I can't, confirm that they're finalizing a trade and anything like that, but I will if they do. But the chatter is getting a little bit more frequent and a little bit louder. A lot of it's from Andy Martino, so the reporting is credible too. Okay, but if you want to be kept up to date with Juan Soto, Yankees, and the other details that come with it, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that yet. Okay, I thank you for it. If you do hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well. That way you know exactly when news comes out, and you're one of the first people to get it. Period. Okay, I'll take care of all the details. Just hit those two buttons one time, and you're good to go. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for both. It means a lot. So, talked about this. This is the guy. Okay, this is the guy. He's the ultimate prize this offseason in a trade, and the Yankees are making it clear that they're interested. This is something that the Yankees don't normally do. The Yankees don't really get involved this early in the postseason, in the offseason / postseason, or even late in the postseason. This stuff generally happens later on in the postseason. The Yankees are usually one of the last people to the party, which frustrates a lot of fans. Them to be one of the first people to this party, basically starting their own party, is kind of breath of fresh air. It really is. And there's some more details that go along with it. We've talked about this already, that the Yankees are making it clear that they want Juan Soto. Okay, and at this point, we got to acknowledge a few things. Number one, Soto's the prize. So, and the Padres have the prize. So the Yankees have to go to them, not the other way around, which is what they did. We also know that the Padres are motivated and basically mandated to cut payroll by a good amount, at least $50 million. And they can do that in a couple different ways. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go on a full rebuild. If they're going to trade Soto, they're going to want some kind of combination of major league players and minor league players, right? Especially if they lose Blake Snell, Josh Hader, and some of these other guys too. So, and Soto's projected to make anywhere between $30 and $33 million or something like that in his final year of arbitration. So the number's big, and Padres they're not going to be able to afford it. And they're undergoing a managerial change too. That could affect his free agent thought process. The Yankees are undergoing a hitting coach change too, which could affect his trade willingness process too. So there's a lot of factors that need to be considered here. It's part of the puzzle. And again, this is preliminary stages right now, but they are miles ahead of where they used to be, okay, and where they have been. So, that's encouraging. And now, the other thing we have to keep in mind too, so Soto's a lefty, and the Padres are going to want a combination of major league and minor league players. So the name Anthony Rizzo was floated around last night as a potential replacement for Juan Soto, at least for the lefty bat, and the major league piece that they want in return. That happens to be productive when he's healthy, and looks like he will be healthy, and a lot cheaper than Juan Soto. And he's under 1 year of payroll control. And then after that, he'll be a free agent. So that, they will have that immediate production from the major league piece, and they're likely going to get, expect a Drew Thorpe or a Chase Hampton, and expect maybe a Johnny Brito or a Randy Vasquez, expect a Everson Pereira, or I don't know, some combination of pitching and outfield prospects. But the Yankees are going to feel it. Obviously, it's not going to be what the Padres gave up to the Nationals to get Soto, because he's going. We're talking about 1 year of control versus 2.5. So, but Soto is clearly the prize by a mile. So any team that gets him, and then there's going to be a line of teams that are interested, are going to have to pay the price. Period. But who makes a difference on the Yankees farm more than Soto? Nobody. There's not even a discussion. Nobody. Okay? Juan Soto's the guy. So Anthony Rizzo's name has been floated around. Now, why do I mention that? Well, now we're missing a left-handed first baseman. Okay? Yankees have also cleared up, in this particular situation, would have cleared up payroll. which another name has been floating around as a lefty replacement for Anthony Rizzo. That's Cody Bellinger. Okay, so now the situation's being kind of tossed around where the Yankees could potentially bring in Soto and Bellinger, right? And potentially Yamamoto, and have a payroll similar or less than what they had last year. This would, of course, include trading somebody like Gleyber Torres in a separate move as well. But if you replace Rizzo and Torres and replace them with Soto and Bellinger, would you be happy with that upgrade? I know I would, and I think a lot of other people would too. So, yes, it would stink to get rid of Torres' offensive production, but again, you're upgrading with Bellinger, you're upgrading with Soto, you're upgrading, period. Not with both of them, but one of them each. Then you get both of them, forget about it. Okay? So, and then if that's particular scenario, and then this scenario is being floated around too, and if you can get a Yamamoto, a Soto, and a Bellinger, which is apparently being floated around, and I'll have more intel to come. Once I get more credible intel to share with you, I'll get it to you right away. Okay? So, as the stuff becomes more fluid and so on, I do think the Soto decision itself will probably take a little while. I think it'll be one of the last dominoes to fall. So, as exciting as Soto and a Bellinger and the Yamamoto offseason would be absolutely freaking ridiculous and a complete game changer for the Yankees. It would change the whole look of the franchise, short term and long term. I think it's important to consider an offseason that we'd be happy with under the condition. I'd be ecstatic with an offseason like that. I don't care if they bring in Mickey Mouse for a position after that. You get those three guys, I'm happy. Okay, I'm ecstatic. But let's just say Soto doesn't happen. The Yankees would be fools to wait for that to happen and ignore addressing other holes. First hole they have to address is pitching, starting pitching. And the fact is they need pitching and hitting. Not just hitting, not just left-handed bats. There's so many people saying they just need left-handed bats. They need pitching too. Carlos Rodon was not the number 2 that we thought he was going to be, at least not yet. We hope that he will be in 2024. But in the meantime, getting a guy like Yoshinobu Yamamoto from Japan is a 25-year-old, probably the best pitcher to come out of Japan, would be a great addition. And if you have him, Cole, and Rodon as your 1, 2, 3, man, oh man. And then you're adding Michael King and letting him phase himself into the rotation. We got somebody on the cheap there. And whatever they do with number 4, even if they move Nestor Cortes for long relief and they keep Clark Schmidt there, you've just upgraded significantly in the starting rotation. And I would move Nestor Cortes to long relief if I can get Yamamoto for the rotation. That's what I would do. If you agree, you disagree, it's totally cool. Let me know what you think in the comments either way. So this would be piece number 1 here. Piece number 2 would obviously be the other guy we just talked about, Cody Bellinger. Okay? He could be a short-term piece for the outfield and a long-term piece for first base. And he's the lefty bat that we're looking for to, especially if you move on from Anthony Rizzo somehow. Okay? Now, I highly doubt we're going to move DJ LeMahieu, okay, because of his versatility. And he's much more versatile than Rizzo is. At a relatively similar, I think you're only a year apart from each other in terms of age, maybe a year and a half. But I'm not even going to go down the DJ LeMahieu trade route because I highly doubt that's going to happen. Rizzo I can see being moved. But Cody Bellinger is the guy right here who can replace Anthony Rizzo and as an upgrade offensively and defensively. And he's got speed, which Rizzo does not have, okay? So he could be a guy in the base path too that could steal some bases and put the ball in play. And if they move Torres, he's an upgrade over Torres too offensively. We've more than replaced Torres' offense with a guy like Cody Bellinger. If they want to go further, piece number 3 for me would be Jeimer Candelario. Okay? Now you have the ability to do a couple things here. You can plug in, let's just say, a couple different scenarios. If Bellinger doesn't happen, you can move but Soto does. You can move DJ to first base, Jeimer Candelario to third base. And if you move Torres, you can replace him with Oswald Peraza at second base. The Yankees have already said that they consider Peraza and Volpe to be the infield of the future, the middle infield of the future. Well, there you go. Okay, there you go. But if Bellinger does happen and becomes first base, that's fine too. You can plug DJ at third base and not have to really worry about Candelario unless you still trade Torres and you want to put Candelario at second base. And then you move Peraza in a trade package for Soto. There's a lot of scenarios that we can consider, but this would be a tertiary piece, in my opinion, that would be a good idea. And obviously, the other piece here would be moving Gleyber Torres for controllable pitching. Okay, he's not going to be part of the Juan Soto package because San Diego is just like the Yankees are loaded in the infield. They don't need Gleyber Torres. Okay, and again, their goal is to cut payroll. Torres is about to get super expensive. Okay, so it doesn't make any sense for them to trade for him anyway. Him being moved for a controllable reliever that's relatively on the cheap, maybe you've got a couple arbitration years, that could be an additional weapon to the bullpen who needs an additional weapon aside from guys they already have that are coming back like Scott Efros and some other guys. Another guy that can be a late inning weapon in case we have more Clay Holmes issues, in case we have more Tommy Kahnle issues. Well, if you move Torres for controllable pitching on the relief side, you've got the additions to the rotation already. Now this will give you the addition to the bullpen. You'd have Torres' offense replaced in a couple different ways, whether it be by Bellinger or Bellinger and Candelario or Bellinger and Soto. Okay? So in a lot of different ways, you're upgraded here. So that's the type of offseason I would be happy with if somehow the Soto trade doesn't turn into a reality and the trade doesn't happen. If it does happen, I'm ecstatic. But I want to know what you think. What offseason would you be happy with? Okay. And again, do I think that the Cashman and the rest of them are going to do nothing? No, I do not. And it's been this type of chatter, and they wouldn't have reached out to San Diego already in talks if they weren't planning on doing anything. Okay, and yes, they do their due diligence and blah, blah, blah. But they're not the ones leaking this information. The reporters are. When the Yankees tend to leak information and say we're working on this, working on that, they tend to do nothing. But they're being quiet. Okay? Keep that in mind. Okay? So this gives me something to be encouraged about and to look forward to. But that's the additional intel. The fact that Anthony Rizzo is being considered as an additional trade piece here, which clears up first base for a guy and payroll for a guy like Cody Bellinger. Okay, and they're discussing the ability to get Soto and Bellinger and Yamamoto if they happen to move Torres and Rizzo and still be under the high threshold payroll. That would be complete insanity if they can do that. And they have all these guys that they're going to non-tender, and I expect them to non-tender the majority of them, which will clear off more money, making a move like that for those three guys even more possible. Now, it still remains to be seen. I'll believe it when I see it when it happens, little by little. But I think right out the gates, no matter what, the Yankees need to be heavy duty and make sure that they get Yamamoto so that the Mets can go get Shohei Ohtani. The last thing I want to do is be outbid by the Mets. And Yamamoto said he wants to play in the big market. And all due respect to the Mets, but Queens is not the big market in New York. The Bronx is, period. Okay? All due respect to the Mets. And I appreciate what they're doing. But Bronx is the mecca of New York baseball. And it always will be. So let me know what you think of all this stuff. I had to get this out to you. And I'm very intrigued and I'm looking forward to getting more intel to share with you. So you know what to do if you don't want to miss it. Have a great day, gang, and I'll talk to you next time.